What's up, brewskis? My name's Marco. Adam Obesius Rodriguez is right there. Tonight's brew is from Japas or
Habas.
Habas?
I believe it's Habas.
Habas?
Habas.
Are you sure?
I think so.
10 years Kampai.
Kampai.
A grape ale.
Yes.
And Adam's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight?
Well, we have a bit of a music combo platter, if you will, because Ye has been tweeting yet again. And,
yet again.
You know how that goes by this point. He also released some music, and
Sort of?
Kinda, a little bit, kinda.
Yeah.
And then we also have talk about Playboi Carti.
Playboi Carti.
Who released a new album recently and has a collaboration with Kendrick Lamar. Little guy you may know. Mm-hmm. Actually, little guy.
Little guy.
Yeah, small in stature.
Small guy.
But that's been getting some controversy. So we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about all that.
Yeah.
And then I think we talked about this before on the show, the Coyote vs. Acme movie that has been shelved by Warner Brothers.
Allegedly was deleted from history. Gone.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Apparently is alive and well and on its way to another studio.
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk about that. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into all of that. Maybe more, maybe less. We will find out once we drink these brewskis and open up the show, because it's episode 455 of the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4
I do it for you.
Spoiled a little
takes
bit.
me to
Just a little bit. I didn't read the whole thing. But speaking of which,
Yeah.
tell the people a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight, please.
I would love to. This is the Hoppus 10-year Kanpai.
Kampai.
Grape Ale, 8% ABV, comes in 1 pint. Cold read goes as follows. Kampai is a special beer created for the 10th anniversary of Hoppus Cervejeria. Fermented with white grapes, it combines the complexity of malt with the delicacy of the grapes, resulting in a refreshing profile reminiscent of champagne with a golden color and fruity notes. And I thought it was cool because right underneath that they say this is from Japanese Brazilian women brewers. Very specific, but very cool.
Yeah. See, we drink beer from women.
We do.
Okay? Japanese women, Brazilian women. And sometimes they collab and make a beer that we drink at the same time.
Yeah.
Sherry. All right.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get into, but this, I think, is the most important thing, probably, of
Okay.
everything that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Okay. You're 10,000 feet up.
Uh-huh.
You're on a plane from here to Japan. Boom. And I guess I should rephrase this little scenario, right? Because it wouldn't happen while you were 10,000 feet up. It would happen while everybody's boarding and everything, right?
Maybe. It could be after you're in mid-flight and people are walking around a little bit.
True, because I think that video takes place in the air.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody comes to you and they say, hi. Hi. Listen, I don't normally do this, but would you like to join the Mile High Club with me? No. They come to you and they say, hey, my daughter is 10 rows back. And she has, we're flying together. She's afraid of flying. Do you mind switching seats with us? Mm-hmm. What do you do in this situation? And is there any situation in which Like, what are the rules here? What's the ground rules on this sort of thing? Because this... Let's start with you personally, and then we'll
Okay.
get into the global effects of it.
Okay. I mean, as a nervous flyer who prefers being in the aisle seat, gives you a little more room. Mm-hmm. Also a big boy. I like to have my legs a little, spread eagle. Makes me comfortable.
Yeah. Man spread.
Yeah, do a little man spread.
I man spread.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't do it on purpose, but I realize sometimes when I'm sitting next to people, my legs are just all the way out here, and I'm just like, I take up this space.
Yeah.
I am man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
See me sit.
programmed into our DNA, really.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right.
But yeah.
No female-led movies. No room for women to sit next to me.
You can't just be saying stuff like that. Yeah, I'm very particular about where I sit because I'm an anxious person, and I get very uncomfortable on flights if things aren't right, and because of that, unless I was getting another seat that's just like mine and equally as convenient and comfortable, no, I'm not moving. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I would apologize. I would explain to them that I'm a nervous flyer as well, and it's just not in the books for me. Maybe ask someone else nearby, but not for me. Now, again, if it's a situation where I would be comfortable moving, then sure, that's fine. But I'd feel like a jerk, but I'd have to put my foot down.
Yeah.
Because we live in a society.
We live in a society.
Like I bought my ticket for this seat or got in line early enough that I was able to choose this seat.
Yeah.
I deserve this seat.
Yeah. I think if I randomly, like if I bought a ticket, but they weren't assigned seats,
Yeah.
and you just randomly found a spot, and you're like, oh, this is a good spot, and then somebody came to you and said, do you mind if we switch? That's one thing. Now I'm
Sure.
going to table that and come back to that in a second.
Sure.
But if I pay money for an assigned seat, there's very few things that you can say to me that is
Yeah.
going to make me get up.
Yeah.
And I'll even raise you one. I don't feel bad at all. I paid extra money to sit in this spot.
Sure.
You know how upset I would be if as soon as I sat down and got comfortable, some fucking jerk off with a sob story comes walking up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I know you paid for that seat, but do you mind going all the way back there?" The fuck out of my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get away from me before I fight you on this plane and put us both on the no-fly list. Like, the audacity of some fucking people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I understand, like, things happen, and I don't feel like there's any harm in asking someone to do that.
Sure.
To do you the favor.
You can ask anybody anything, I think.
And it might be fine, like it might work out perfectly fine. I've seen it happen. Actually, on a flight before, I think it was a situation where, like, somebody, I was like in between two people that knew each other, so they're like, "Do you want to move to the aisle row?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's great,
Yeah, beautiful.
Sure, thank
Yeah,
you."
Let me get that aisle.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could easily do that if they were like across the aisle and they just want to swap spots. Like, sure, yeah, I'm fine with that. But if it's a thing of like, I guess it's a level of inconvenience,
Yeah,
like you have to weigh it out.
I think if you're the person asking, you got to make it worth my while,
Sure.
man. You are inconveniencing me at a time where it's like flying sucks now.
Yeah.
I mean, flying always kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But lately, I mean,
If you make it,
right. If your plane don't drop out the sky,
yeah,
I mean, it's just not. It's uncomfortable. It feels like there's more seats than there are. I mean, like they're like packing us in like
yeah.
sardines, and
Yeah.
it's like, what was it? Was it Southwest that just announced this whole thing with their bags and everything like that? It
oh
was
yeah,
Southwest, right?
Yeah, I think so. That they're gonna like charge.
Southwest. They're going to charge people for the bags. The whole thing with Southwest was free bags, and now
Right.
they're like, we're going to charge $35 unless you're part of like our, rich people club, basically.
Yeah, the membership.
And it's like, okay, man, there's no Wi-Fi on this plane. You got no TV screens on the seats, right? You got like there's no room for even societal normal people.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way. Skinny people is the only way that I can really. There's no room for even skinny people anymore.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna take away free bags from people. The only reason that people flew Southwest in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. Like they all they want is to just get as much money. It's just gonna squeeze and squeeze and squeeze.
Well, and the problem is, it's like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, take Amtrak? Like,
No, I mean, if I'm gonna pay for bags, then I'm gonna fly Frontier or JetBlue.
well, that's what I'm saying. But like, I feel like this is at some point inevitable that it's going to be that way across the board.
True.
Unless
true.
you're paying a premium.
Well, but you're
you know?
already but the thing is with Southwest, you weren't paying for those bags.
Right.
You already have to pay for the bags at Frontier.
Sure,
But it's a cheaper flight because
Yeah.
it's a fucking sky bus. It's a piece of rinky-dink
like
piece of shit.
Spirit, right?
Yeah.
Like, same deal.
Yeah. Excuse me. So that's kind of inherent. You're like, all right, I'm already flying on the space sardine, you know?
Yeah.
So then somebody comes up to you while you're in the sky and they're like, hey, my baby's crying.
Yeah.
Can they have your seat?
Mm-hmm.
So this gets us to this most recent thing, because the whole switching seats thing has become a meme in and of itself.
Yeah.
And you're right, it happens all the time. I'm sure it's every single flight. At least one person is like. This most recent one was this lady who got asked to move by a mom whose child wanted her seat, and the kid was like hysterical.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, "No, I'm not moving."
For the greater good.
And everyone took the mom's side and was like, "Just get up."
Yeah. Well, I wonder why. Like, they want that person to make the sacrifice for everyone.
Yeah.
So that the kid quiets down.
Right. And I think most people, especially the people on that plane, were probably like, "Listen, man, it's just one flight.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna kill you.
It's not worth
to
it.
Just get
Come
up.
on, please."
And maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not worth it to fight for this thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's also not worth it. All of this extra bullshit that has happened after the fact.
Yeah.
Somebody filmed this incident, posted it online.
Yep.
It went viral. Now this lady is dealing with all kinds of heinous bullshit.
Yep.
She has sued the airline and sued the person who posted the video.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I think the filming people at every inconvenience, every weird situation, like, are you gonna bump shoulders with somebody and instead of apologizing, just immediately whip out your phone?
Your phone, yeah.
I mean, that's where we are now, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is not an incident where you pull your phone out, record them, and then post it on the internet. That is just not.
No.
That is just not this situation.
Yeah.
That is, you just don't do shit like that.
No.
But that's what people do now. It's crazy to me.
And it worked.
Because it's one thing where, like, you get into an altercation with the cops, and you're like, I need to start filming this because I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Sure. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Then
that's
the cop
like
is super rude to you or
that's
super
like
weird.
Accountability, though.
Exactly. This is not that.
No.
This
it's
is
like exploitation.
Yeah. And it's just, we're getting into, we're just in this, I mean, we're not getting there. We're there. We're in this weird place where this is becoming normal.
Yeah.
People doing this shit to other people is normal. And I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'll be honest. I really, really, really hate crying babies.
Well,
so I probably would have given up my seat.
And that's what I was going to say is, like, there's an equation to do in this situation.
Yeah.
And part of that convenience I'm talking about is, like, also the convenience of the rest of the flight. The convenience of not having to deal with this crying baby.
Yeah.
And all these people glaring at you the rest of the flight.
I don't give a fuck about the glaring. They can eat my ass.
Okay.
Stare at me the whole flight.
Yeah, that's fair.
When I fly though, I get really comfortable, or at least I get as comfortable as I can. I got the neck pillow. I got my laptop.
You
out.
can sleep anywhere, also.
That's true. That's true, and that's what I try to do.
Are you one of the people who's able to knock out on a flight?
I try as hard as I can.
Okay.
I usually the last time, I don't know if I told this story on the pod, but I had a panic attack the last time I flew. But that was during COVID.
Oh yeah, you're wearing the mask and stuff.
Everybody was wearing masks. I had the headphones in.
Yeah.
I was sitting between two people. Speaking of taking the aisle seat, I was sitting between two people, and I felt boxed in, and I was just like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck here. And then my heart rate went up, and I was just like, what is this feeling?
Start sweating.
Yeah. I was like, this feels like trash.
I know her well.
Yeah.
The anxiety.
So, but typically, yes, I hit the bar.
Yeah.
I get a couple of Jack and Gingers.
There you go.
I get a little sleepy.
Uh-huh.
Get a little sweepy. And I pass the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then, and that's the other thing. Like, I'll try to do, like, some stuff on my laptop, or, like, listen to some music, or, like, maybe write something or whatever, just to kind of, like, pass the time, especially if it's a long flight.
Yeah.
But I am intending to get on that plane and try to sleep as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And as long as possible. So if somebody like woke me up and was like, "Do you mind,
excuse me,
going to sit back there?"
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd be irate. I'd be like, I'll push us out this plane. Like, I'll take both of our
we'll
lives.
both die today.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
minor inconvenience will be the end of both of us.
Please don't ask me anything ever again.
But the baby thing, dude. We were at a bar yesterday, and we were hanging out, we're talking and whatnot. No, actually, I think this was today. We were getting something to eat. Yeah, this was today. We were getting something to eat.
What is time?
Yeah. We were in a booth, and then there was there's a booth behind us, and this baby just he's like, ah! and then the parent was like, shh, and he just goes, ah!
Oh
And he held it. He's like, ah! I was like, and I just looked at Brad and Lonnie, and I was like, I'm gonna kill him.
Don't like
I'm gonna
this.
Murder all of them. And I think we're in this weird place with like personal responsibility and this lack of community. So I think I understand where some people are coming from, where it's like, just get up. It's a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
Sure.
But I also feel like, okay, she gets up, this baby sits down. What if it keeps screaming? Now this lady's sitting in the back of the bus.
Sure.
Kid's still screaming, and for what? Oh, now she's the hero? Well, at least she got up. She tried. That's what people say.
Yeah.
Well, she tried at least.
Now the mom's the bad guy.
No, the mom's already the bad guy.
I'm saying for perception wise.
No, to me, the mom's already the bad guy in this situation. Now, she's just trying to alleviate all of that.
She's trying to fix the problem she made.
Yeah, by creating that baby.
I mean, ultimately, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, by not getting the tickets that they were supposed to when they were supposed to. Okay, look, everyone has a story. Everyone has issues. Stuff happens. I get it.
Yeah.
My point is, I'd have to do the equation in my head in that moment to say, yeah, fine, go ahead and take it.
Right.
I don't want to deal with this crying baby the entire time. Or to put my foot down and go, no. Ask someone else. This is my spot.
Yeah.
But knee-jerk reaction, in this situation in particular, I think I would give up the seat.
Yeah, I think I probably would too.
Yeah.
Just again for the convenience or the inconvenience, and just being like, all right, man, that baby better shut the fuck up though. So if I get up and it doesn't, I'm gonna come back and just scream in his face.
Just pick it up and take it back to the seat.
Right.
This is mine again.
Right.
Yeah.
I know babies are babies, man. You can't,
Yeah.
It is what it is. And parents, they do their best.
Sure.
And sometimes their best just isn't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And babies cry. Baby's crying. It is what it is. But I think that we wouldn't even be having this conversation if some fucking jerk didn't decide that this was a situation that needed to be posted online.
And I think that's really the bigger issue here. Because people are saying, should that be legal? Should that be something you're able to do on a flight? And my question is, like, how would you stop that? Because you don't want to say, like...
With these right here?
Yeah. Sky Marshal is how you stop it.
Just go walk over there, and then you just start wailing on her as hard as you can.
That's how Russia does it.
Yeah.
But, like, how would you practically stop that? Like, just... Because everyone's on their phone generally, especially if there's no screen on the back of the headrest.
Yeah.
So there's no real way to police that. And, say, God forbid, there's an emergency. You're going to want to film what's going on too. So, you know, I just don't see a practical way of doing that. I think it's more of just something to look at as a faux pas and just, you know, discourage people from doing that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about stuff like that. The people who are going to do it are going to do it. They don't care about societal norms. They don't care about faux pas and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the dudes that kick their shoes off and got their bare dogs out, curling their toes
Underneath your seat, and
Yeah.
you see just raw
the underneath
toe
thing
underneath.
is not so bad. It's the guys who put the foot on your armrest.
Oh, no.
That's where I'm like, get the fuck off.
Oh, no,
And
no,
just,
no.
Just drop an
You
elbow
don't
right
do
on the
that.
base of their foot.
You don't do that.
Yeah, no, I have no. I don't like feet in general. I have so I don't want to see man dogs. I don't want to see man toe out. Women's feet are beautiful.
Oh.
But a man's foot,
No.
I have a real problem. Like, hey, listen, man, I don't want to see them toes out unless we're on the beach. And even then, I'm like, I want you wearing some sandals or something.
Sure.
Oh,
Put them in the sand.
dude. When people come into the bar wearing
Oh, no.
sandals, I'm like, all right, fine. It's Florida, sure. But then when they kick them off when they're sitting down, I'm like,
no,
listen,
no.
Listen. You're breaking the rules now, buddy. I need
Speaking
them,
of faux pas,
I need them feet back in those sandals. I don't care if the barrier between barefoot and not barefoot is just that thong in between your toe. Doesn't, to me,
still counts.
yeah, it still counts.
Yeah.
It still counts. So put them back on.
Yep.
Or get out.
Yep.
Kick people out of the bar for that.
Get out of my bar.
Yeah. So when people do shit like that, or like I saw one where this girl had like taken her hair and she had like, pushed it like this.
Yeah.
And then it was hanging over the back of the seat.
I know what video you're talking about. I have to believe that's a fake video.
I need to believe it's
I have
fake.
to believe it's fake.
Because there's just no way that a person. But again, people have audacity now, man.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? Or sometimes they don't even think that it's wrong.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the issue?
Yeah.
You're not even using the seat, so who cares?
Right.
Oh man,
Yeah.
planes, dude, planes,
No.
planes, trains, and automobiles. That's why I don't. I mean, if I don't have to fly, I try not to.
Yeah.
If it's a couple hour drive, I might just do the drive.
Sure. You take it at your own pace, you know?
Yeah.
Make a few pit stops.
Yeah.
Make a thing of it.
Yeah. Flying's. Man.
I do like a road trip, you know? It's kind of fun. It can be.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Okay.
get into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Let's get into the real stuff.
Okay.
Let's get into the real shit. So these past couple of days, weeks at this point, been seeing a lot of movement in the hip hop world.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. A lot of releases. A lot of weirdness. A lot of weirdness.
It's been a strange
weird.
time.
It's been strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. This post Kendrick time frame, like Kendrick now has kind of solidified himself as just this like beacon, and he had his year, and I think, judging by everything, that like he's gonna kind of hang back.
Should
Yeah, I think he should
go away for a little bit.
rest on his laurels for a little while.
Yeah.
He's been smart with the way that he releases music, and I mean, like,
Well, he's on a tour now too, right?
yeah, he's touring with SZA.
SZA.
And I thought, Mr. Morale came out in 2022. So it's not like, I thought, wow, he just put out Mr. Morale. He's already putting out this GNX album. But
No.
2 years,
Been
2.5
long enough.
years, that's long enough.
Yeah.
So now we're in this weird time frame where it's hard to keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
So we got Carti, Playboi Carti.
Yep.
I don't even know where to start with this. Honestly, I'm trying
Where
to
do we
figure out
get
like
in?
what's the in?
Yeah.
What's the in here? Playboi Carti's new album, Music. It's just called Music.
Just called
it says
Music.
I Am Music,
Yeah.
but the album is actually just called Music.
The actual title is just music.
Playboi Carti. Okay.
I'm
This
not.
is-
I'm not super familiar with Playboi Carti personally, so please take the floor, if you will.
Yeah.
Educate me and the people.
So I've tried to listen to Playboi Carti.
Only heard him in like features.
Yeah.
Personally.
And that's, I mean, objectively, Playboi. Jesus
Oh,
Christ!
wow.
I mean,
Keep it down, Dad.
Wow! Unbelievable. That NPR article that you shared,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good description of kind of his place in music. I mean, he came up, he was one of those SoundCloud dudes.
Yeah.
The mumble rap thing. He was like, he was the best example of that kind of music, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
The people who were into that kind of shit, Playboi Carti was like their guy. And if you look at the way he dresses, the way he presents himself, the kind of enigmatic like album release cycle and all that stuff, you see a lot of people younger than him, or I guess I should say of this like current generation, because I think he's like 29 or 30 years old, so he's not like super young. Yeah. Though he presents himself to be like 18 years old,
sure,
he's not. He is like the, I guess, not forefather, but the face, I guess, of this kind of alt rap, trap kind of punk thing that has this weird kind of kinetic, almost industrial energy to it. And for the people that like it, it's this guy who's kind of basically on the outskirts of mainstream hip hop.
By the way, it says, according to Wikipedia, that he's born either 95 or 96.
Either 95 or 96?
Yes.
We don't know?
Unsure.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That we don't know.
Yeah.
And so he had Die Lit, which I actually reviewed on my old Instagram page when I was reviewing albums.
Yeah. I know the album cover.
Yeah.
Classic album cover.
And I'll give him that. Like, the iconography, like, all of the stuff that he does is really cool. I do like that shit.
Yeah.
And so I've given him chance after chance. And I know I'm going to sound like an old head. I'm 34. So if you're in your 20s and you're listening to this podcast, welcome, by the way. It'd be strange. But if you are, and you're listening because we're talking about Playboi Carti, you might have seen it in the hashtags, just take this with a grain of salt. Yeah. I'm one of those old dudes that's not going to understand. With that being said, he's absolute fucking garbage. I can't stand Playboi Carti. I can't stand him. If you remember the song Earthquake by Tyler,
yes,
he's the one who comes in and he's like, which admittedly in that context was a good feature because it was kind of strange. It kind of fit the vibe. Now imagine that for like 35 minutes straight. I tried with Die Lit. I couldn't get through a whole lot of Red. And this one, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
So there's just a little bit of context.
A strong did not review from Marco Dupa.
And I think that he fucked a Kardashian. I believe.
Okay.
That he has a kid with one of them. I believe. If you want to double check that, because there is something to that with Kanye's kid, which is how Kanye gets in here into this conversation. Maybe just go to his wiki.
Weren't they? Wasn't there talk from Kanye about Iggy Azalea? What was that about?
Carti and Iggy were together at some point. They have a kid. They have a kid.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Maybe he has two kids, or maybe I'm thinking of Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
Personal life.
There we go. Briefly dated Black China in 2017.
Oh.
Then he was romantically involved with Ruby Rose in 2018.
Wow. Ruby Rod.
Okay, in 2018, he began dating Iggy Azalea.
Sure.
And then... Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Never mind. Not
Also,
a Kardashian. Iggy Azalea.
He suffers from asthma, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now that you say that, I take everything back that I said. So he wanted, apparently, to have North on a song?
Right. That was the whole controversy that Kanye was bringing up.
So, yeah.
Should say, too, he has two kids, Onyx and Eves, apparently.
Both from Iggy Azalea? Okay. You know what? I don't care.
Unknown?
Anymore. I'm done trying to figure out the family tree of Playboi Carti. He wants to have North on a song. Kanye is like, no fucking shot.
Yeah.
But then this gets into this conversation of who owns the trademark.
I thought you were going to say the children.
Well, honestly, that's where we are now.
Yeah.
Because if you want to kind of skip ahead, Kim is apparently going to sue. This sounds like a fucking drama alert.
Sure does.
Podcast. It's fucking media takeout bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Kim Kardashian is going to sue him for sole custody of their kids.
Okay.
And I guess at one point she trademarked all of their names just in case. I mean, on the onset, that sounds like really weird and like Hollywood brained.
Okay, but yeah, I
in
kinda
actuality, it's like it is what it is.
Sure. They're public figures already.
Exactly. So what's going to happen is somebody else is going to do that.
Yeah.
So you might as well just, as soon as they're born, just trademark the name and make sure like
They
nobody
should own their names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're famous, that is probably something I assume that you'd have to do.
Unless your name's like John.
Right. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
That people have to do this. But,
John
you know,
Azalea.
here we are. John Minaj. What's crazy is that that you have to do that because there are insane people out there who are like, I'm going to create a website called northwest.com.
Especially like in this specific like ecosystem of fame and fandom
and standum.
It's like, yeah, there's no rules.
There's no rules.
Just like the craziest people you can think of, including some of the parents.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's trademarked these names, and now, you know, anything that happens with the kids, like North, I guess, is she's featured on some songs on the new Vulture albums that Kanye put out, which again, some more bullshit that I'm not going to listen to.
Sure.
And now this kind of dispute of what she can and can't do outside of that kind of stuff is rearing its head. So now this kind of has exploded. Kanye.
Why would that happen? What would cause that to happen?
Well, I'll tell you. One of the most responsible, one of the most like put together,
stable genius. Yeah.
Kanye West, Ye, formerly Kanye West. He had opinions on all of this stuff, and so he's just been tweeting a mile a minute, which is what he does. He jumps back on there, and then he says a bunch of stuff, and then he deletes it, and then he comes back, and he's like, "I didn't even mean to delete that stuff. Fuck them." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He said a bunch of craziness about
God.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids. He called them the R word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Twitter, and then deleted that tweet pretty quickly after. But then he came back and was like, fuck them anyway.
He said, I didn't delete it because I'm a good person. I deleted it because I figured that would get my account suspended.
Yeah, he literally said, I am not a good person.
And then he, I think, reposted it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
he's not a good dude.
That and, more anti-Semitic stuff.
Yeah.
And,
well, and here's the thing. Here's where, for the Kanye thing, before we get back into the Carti thing, because we have some stuff to talk about with Kendrick and everything, right?
Sure.
For Kanye, a lot of people have been kind of making this observation. So I'm just going to state it here. It's not an original thought, but we are at a place in music where Kanye West is kind of irrelevant. Like, he is, when he says things, it's going to get attention, right? He will make national news. So I shouldn't say he's irrelevant, because that would be going too far. But I will say he's not as relevant as he used to be, or as he ever has been, as far as like the height of his popularity. When Kanye used to tweet things, there was whole think pieces about the stuff that he would tweet.
Yeah.
Pitchfork would dedicate an entire chunk of their website to Kanye's tweets.
Yeah.
And now, I think given everything that's happened in the past couple years, he has found himself in a place where he can release new music and people actually not give a fuck that much.
Yes.
Now, it didn't, like, Bully, this new album, hasn't been, like, officially released on the streaming service as of yet. Let me double check, because anything can happen. Let's see. Nothing on the Kanye page. I don't know if there's even a Ye page. Yay. No, it just redirects to Kanye.
Yeah.
So Apple Music, Bully's not on here. Let's see. Let's see if we can just find it. Maybe put it on like Bandcamp or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I just saw him tweet it, the link to the album. And didn't he tweeted out a link and then also like a full video to go along with the album,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm just reading that right now. The short film was directed by the rapper and edited by Hype Williams. So, Hype Williams, I don't know what you're doing, brother, but maybe not associate yourself with Kanye. After a month of teases, this is according to Billboard, Ye surprise released his Bully album on Tuesday night in 3 different versions. Though at press, only one of those versions appeared to be live. The short film that is available was directed by West and edited by famed hip-hop video master Hype Williams and stars the rapper's son, Saint West, in a series of bizarre, grappling-themed visuals. The black and white film opens with Saint banging a toy hammer on the head of a professional Japanese wrestler as his dad raps, "Nobody finna extort me. Even when they record me, I'ma keep it more G. Hand me a drink before I get more deep." Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he released it via this short film. Oh, okay. You can just go to his Twitter.
Yeah.
The first link started acting up. Okay, this is the latest version. You can just watch the whole thing. Post-hype version, post-hype. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So it's a half an hour.
Uh-huh.
This guy's tweet says, "We listen to I Am Music. You can delete this tweet." Okay, so yeah, that's the whole. He's released the album via a short film.
Yeah.
Weird, strange.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was the Kanye of old, I would be like, that's a cool idea.
Right.
But it just feels like, I feel like personally, even supporting him, even listening to the music, I always feel like there's some weird anti-Semitic like message he's trying to sneak in there.
Well, I've seen people like take out lyrics and snippets from the album that are, talking about Hitler, talking about Nazis. I don't know if we even say those words on YouTube.
45 minutes in.
But, something you said kind of gave me a little pause, which is that he doesn't...
Pause.
His, he doesn't have the clout he did before. He doesn't have the sway when something, even when he says something controversial, like it seems like it's kind of old hat now. Like
he's just done it so much that people just kind of go, yeah, Kanye said something crazy again.
Right. And he's forced himself to become like kind of a niche artist.
Yeah.
Where there's still this rabid fan base that's really a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you see, stuff coming out, and I don't know if this is like a cosign or if it's more of, they're just looking for the clicks at this point. But GQ came out with this article. I don't know if you saw it, but that the main headline is, "It brings us no pleasure to report that Kanye West made a good Kanye West album." And I saw on Twitter the responses like overwhelmingly were like, you don't have to do this.
Right.
Like, you don't have to cover it.
Right.
Even if you think that.
Right.
Like, don't do it begrudgingly.
Right.
If you're going to review it, if you're going to, talk about it and give him a platform, then, stand 10 toes.
Right.
Say that's a good album if you want to say it's a good album. Or don't cover it if you don't think you should be covering it.
Right. Don't do this middle of the road thing where you're like, guys, we get it. We're not fans either. But we did listen to the album.
And it was pretty good.
And it's good. So,
yeah.
It's like
stand on your morals or don't.
Right. Well, and these publications don't have any morals, so they're not, I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about them. Not. I'm not worried about them not having some kind of moral compass.
Sure. Leaving it to some standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that, I see that, and that sucks, and that anytime that you see something like that, And somebody's like, hey, just playing devil's advocate. Hey, man, sometimes you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can all just agree that this isn't cool. You don't have to jump on the other side of the argument and be like, well, what about this? And, hey, listen, I'm with you, man, but what about this? And it's like, nah, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this shit anymore.
The merits to Kanye crashing out.
Yeah, like, what are we talking about?
Huh?
Yeah, GQ, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to even cover it. You know? But whatever.
This is the subhead. Ye takes a break from posting slurs and swastikas and feuding with the world to leak a work-in-progress version of his new album, Bully.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Now, he didn't, though. That's the thing. He didn't take a break from
No,
all
he
that
kept
stuff.
going.
He was still doing all that. In the midst of putting this album out, he's still tweeting a bunch of crazy stuff.
Well, one of the things that popped out to me, especially as worrying for the health of Mr. Ye, is you saw he posted this list of people who he's disappointed in, essentially.
No, I didn't see that.
It's like people he feels turned their back on him and or on him, and like at the end of it, or I'm not sure if it's even at the end, but within it, he basically said like, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
And these people are the reason why. And you know, he started going off on a tangent the other day about you know, maybe if I wasn't rich, my mom would still be alive. Maybe if I didn't make it, my mom would still be alive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so
Okay,
we're getting really dark.
I've seen I see the list now.
Yeah.
I'm in pain that no one person. He's been betrayed by Virgil, John Legend, Kim, Travis Scott, Carti, Big Sean, Jay-Z, Ty Dolla $ign. He just made 2 albums with, by the way.
Sure.
Lil Durk, Common, Kid Cudi, Pusha T, Don C, Amber, The Kardashians, Adidas, Demna / Balenciaga, my own kids, my own family, the black community.
And of course.
And of course, the Jews.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in pain. I bled for everyone here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man, this guy.
He's
This
spiraling. He is absolutely like spiraling in a way that is, first of all, less entertaining. And I'm saying that in a way that's, you know, observant of the fact that it's never been entertaining, that he has clearly been in mental distress for years now. But I'm just saying it has gotten more and more extreme over time. And this is the most troubling, I think, he's come off in a long time. And that's saying something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it gotten to the point for me that, like, I've just stopped tuning in. Like, I knew we were going to talk about it because, you know, we've talked about Kanye for years now.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in continuing to see where this goes.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree. I'm just going through his timeline, which I haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
Because I unfollowed him, and I'm like, I don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need to.
But it's just, again, going back to that GQ article, it's just so funny for them to be like, he took a break from tweeting these crazies. No, he didn't, man, because I couldn't even find the link anymore. I had to keep scrolling through some like just garbage.
Nonstop.
Yeah. To what you were saying. Yeah, man, it's at a point where we can, again, the devil doesn't need any more advocates. We can just stop this. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to continue giving him the attention, but it gets clicks, it gets headlines, you get GQ articles, even
Sure.
though, you know, everybody's condemned him at this point.
I mean, even more important, we're talking about it right now.
Exactly. So, you know, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
But because when you go on, if you go on his Twitter, he's reposting a bunch of people who are like, you know, keep doing your thing. They're trying to silence you.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to kill you, man. Like, you know, you gotta speak up. You gotta keep speaking your
You're
truth.
breaking
and
out of the
stuff.
matrix, man.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was scrolling on TikTok, and I pulled up a clip of American History X, and it was the scene where the fat dude and the leader of the group, the KKK group, are sitting in a restaurant, and this interracial couple comes in and they start harassing him or whatever.
Sure.
And then I looked in the comments, and like a lot of the comments were like, "Yeah, this is how
Hell
it
yeah,
should be."
brother.
Yeah, like, and that's
where are we?
Yeah, man. It's
happened?
Insane. So when Kanye tweets these like crazy, hateful, like really fucked up things, he gets a lot of, and I think it's the feedback loop that has gotten Elon to where he is.
Yes.
Elon has said so much fucked up shit and done fucked up shit, and he's only done it because the feedback loop has told him, keep going, keep doing that thing.
And I think that's also in his heart. And it just...
Oh, yeah. That's definitely.
It just gives him the allowance to say and act on the things he's always felt.
Yeah, it's the Homelander scene where he kills that guy,
Yeah,
and
it's
they're
like,
like, you guys are cool with that?
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see happen, but yeah, you're right. I think it is. It's just it's what the internet folks call a hug box.
Oh.
You know, like you build this community that only agrees with you, only is in existence to embolden your worst decisions.
Yeah.
It's like being surrounded by yes men, but on like a level that we could never have imagined before the internet and social media.
Right.
So it feeds into mental illness, and I think that's what we're seeing with Kanye.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you shouldn't be able to post something and have millions of people be able to see it, and then them go like, yeah, like if somebody in your personal life was like, Hitler was right, you'd be like, well, I don't want you to be in my life anymore. I'm going to excommunicate you from this community.
Right.
Like you don't get to hang out here anymore.
Or at very least say, no.
Right.
he wasn't.
But you can say something like that online and have potentially hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people be like, yeah,
right.
We're out there. We believe that same thing.
Sure.
So going back to some more controversies, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Kendrick has a feature on this new Carti album, and people were quick to point out that Carti is in the midst of legal issues stemming from a domestic violence case.
And apparently being a deadbeat dad. Not being present in his kid's life.
Which that to me is like, okay, he's a bad dad. What, I can't make music with a bad dad?
Well, I agree. I agree, but the point
it's
that
not my business.
Exactly. Well, that's how I feel about most of this stuff until it starts affecting like the world at large.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can be a dirtbag and make music. Plenty of people do.
Yeah.
But with this situation in particular, like I think it was Anthony Fantano that pointed this out as an issue, was like it comes off, at least to him, the wrong way when Kendrick was kind of put on this pedestal after the Drake situation, after the Drake beef. But Drake hit one of the main criticisms towards Drake was that he was a deadbeat father himself.
Right.
So, you know, people point to that, do the mental math and gymnastics to figure out, like, vis-a-vis, he should not be collaborating with Playboi Carti.
I mean, the domestic violence thing, I think, is obviously more important and I think more detrimental to both of their reputations. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. But to just kind of put a button on this whole thing, I think at this stage, it's hard to say, first of all, like how much Kendrick knew, how much blame you're going to lay at the feet of somebody who is just collaborating with another artist. But I do think that it is important there is a level of it that is important because you can't take the moral high ground and then do things that go against what are your stated morals, right?
Sure.
So, although I'm not in the business of telling people who they can and can't collaborate with, and ultimately, depending on the collaboration, how extensive it is, when it took place, all of that stuff, like the context matters, obviously.
Sure.
All of that stuff kind of goes into the conversation. I do think, I don't know enough about that situation, Carti and Kendrick collaborating, to make a judgment call on it as of yet. But I do think that there is a little to the idea of like, you know, this is a person who, I don't get my morals from rappers.
Sure.
I don't get my morals from celebrities.
Why would you?
But some people do.
Yeah.
And I understand that, like, if you're looking at this situation and going like, man, I'm super disappointed that he collaborated with somebody like this. I understand that inclination. But I think there's more context. There's more to be had with this conversation that I don't think we know all the details. I think it's complicated. I'm not saying this to defend Kendrick. I mean, if he knowingly was like, yeah, dude's a piece of shit, but it's a good song.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucked up. I think that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think I agree overall. I think that because Kendrick has had such a year this past year, it sets him up for scrutiny like this. So I think it's normal. I can see why people are kind of pointing at him and calling him a hypocrite and judging him for that.
Yeah.
But on the same token, you know, I think he's been pretty clear that, you know, he's, I mean, quite literally, he's not your savior.
He's not our savior.
Right. So yeah, I think he's aware he's a flawed human being and he's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but just because you knowingly admit to that doesn't save you from the criticism.
Judgment. Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. But
and sometimes people bring that up and they say like, hey, listen, I mean, he said that, you know, he's not the guy. He's not like the Messiah or something. It's like,
right.
Yeah, man, sure. But that doesn't, it's the same criticism that we levy at Joe Rogan, for instance, when he's like, I'm just a dumb comedian.
I'm an idiot.
Oh, so now he just gets to say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants because he gets ahead of it and calls himself a dumb comedian who doesn't know what he's doing.
You have no liability when you call yourself stupid or flawed.
And I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't think you get to just be like, listen, you knew I was dumb.
Yeah.
So you don't get to
why'd you
criticize
believe me?
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think there's more to come from all of this. I think we're just getting started here. And even by the time this comes out, I bet you there'll be a bunch of shit that probably happens tonight.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's the way that that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
On something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So let's do the cheers of the week real fast.
Yes.
Then we'll do the review of these brewskis, and then we'll call it a night.
Sure.
All right. So,
congrats to Coyote and Roadrunner
getting
a release.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I think we're both happy that that's happening.
Yeah. Very curious to see this long awaited movie.
What if it sucks?
Yeah. I mean, you know, they keep listen, and it's like what? Not Will Arnett, but Will Forte, who's in it. Who's like, it's a beautiful movie, it's a great movie, and I'm sad that nobody gets to see it. And it's like, you also made MacGruber.
It's true.
So, not to say that MacGruber's a bad movie. It is, but I'm not saying
great.
that.
It ain't great.
No, it's a fun movie. It's fun. Is it good? I don't know if we call it good, but it's fun.
Better as a sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any hooser. Yes. Please continue.
Actually, you continue with your cheers of the week.
My cheers of the week goes to House of Leaves, the book.
All right.
I always mess the author's name up, so I have to pull it up.
I have to get away from all the pictures of Kanye.
So, House of Leaves book, kind of an infamous book written by Mark Z. Danielewski. I just finished it finally after reading it for like probably 2 years on and off.
Yeah.
Very dense. I would consider a difficult read, but really wholly unique. And people call it pretentious because it has a lot of quirks and is really like unlike any book I've ever read. And at times it can be kind of hard to get through, but I think as a whole package, like anyone who's interested in like, creepypastas, internet horror, mysteries, sci-fi, things of that nature, you owe it to yourself to at least give it a fair shot.
Sure.
It is, again, unlike any other book I've ever read, and for that I have to give it the tip of the hat, and I found, I would say, the vast majority of it worth your while. Check it out, yeah. House of Leaves.
House of Leaves.
Good time.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to this very niche artist, Bob Marley.
Oh.
I mean, I, as well as a million other people, have heard probably every Bob Marley song there is to be heard.
Yeah.
But recently, I've just been doing this Bob Marley, like, deep dive.
You have
of
to
all
every
his
once in a while.
Yeah. And he just... I'll talk about this till I'm blue in the face. And I think I've already started to annoy people about this. But he was just so good.
Yeah.
Like, even in the genre of, like, reggae, he was doing stuff at the time that, like, other people just weren't doing musically. Expanding the genre, using different sounds, doing a more, like, traditional kind of, like, rock-tinged thing that really kind of expanded what he was doing. It's like, it's shocking sometimes to hear, like, really, really good reggae especially from the era, which this is not a takedown or a diss to, like, 70s reggae. I love reggae music. And the stuff that they were doing then lyrically was very interesting. The rhythms, all of it, it hits a part of, that Caribbean thing. It gets in there.
Yep.
But Bob Marley was just different, man. It was just different.
Yep.
So if you have only listened to, like, Legend, I highly, highly suggest you go through his discography. It's not a very long, unfortunately, discography, but I mean, there's just absolute, like, gems.
Yeah.
Exodus, Uprising. I would go through, like, his early stuff to kind of hear the trajectory of how he got to this place of being the most famous reggae artist of all time. So,
like, inseparable from the genre. Like,
yeah,
he's the guy.
Yeah, he's just become one of those names. Michael Jackson, Prince, Bob Marley.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my cheers.
That's very good. I will also say, once you get done with his stuff, explore his kid stuff. Explore the stuff from the Wailers.
Yeah, the other Wailers, Bunny and Peter and all that.
I mean, like, it just shows how good he was, that he collected these people. And, like, the people in that time and place were so talented and good that they all did something with their talent.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, it was like a Beatles situation.
Yeah.
Where they all had something to do with that sound in that moment in time.
Right. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. One last thing, and that's to review these brewskis. So, from the Hapas Brewery. It's the Kanpai, celebrating 10 years.
Kanpai!
Right? That's what this is?
Yeah,
10th
10
anniversary.
Years. Yeah.
Their grape ale, 8%. What'd you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
It's good.
I will say, when I bought it, I didn't buy it looking at the cold read, because I don't read the cold read ahead of time, of course.
Wouldn't be a cold read.
So that led me to believe this was going to be more of a purple grape situation.
Yeah. Well, the label doesn't do it any favors.
No.
Either.
And so I saw grape. I was expecting a purple grape flavor.
Yeah.
A little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
And that's not what this is. It's a little crisp.
Yeah.
It's a little bitter. And I like it for what it is. But I will say I'm a little disappointed in my expectations. Of
right,
what
that it's not like a little weirder.
Yeah.
That it's not closer to, like, orange soda.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted them to go crazy with this one.
Yeah.
And that's what I was kind of hoping what this would be. Because, I'm an IPA boy. So I was like, let me get something different. Let me go off the wall a little.
Right.
And that's why I picked this one. So for those reasons, I'm thinking more of like a 3.5.
3.5?
I think it's good. I think it's good. I don't think it's great. but it's good.
Yeah.
And I've had another hoppus beer actually at Tori Tori locally, if you're in the area. It's I think they're lager. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they have a really nice rice lager.
Yeah, that's what it is. The rice lager, which I enjoyed a lot. But yeah, overall, good, interesting drink. Just know what you're getting into before you have it, and I think you won't be as disappointed as I was in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the label, I assume the same thing. First shot, I was like, okay, am I giving myself the placebo effect? Does it kind of taste like orange or purple grapes, or am I just? Yeah. And the more you drink it, the more it's like these are like champagne grapes.
Yes.
As it says, and you're like, yeah, the it has like a juicy, fruity sweetness, but not like I guess like you want that real sweet from.
This is gonna make me sound trashy. I kind of wanted a purple drink flavor. I want a little bit of that.
What's some purple drink?
I want that artificial, purple, red grape flavor. Maybe not that far, but I want something more akin to that, and this is much more subtle. It's much more light, more crisp than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more sweet.
Yeah.
Especially with the higher ABV.
Yeah. I will give it a 4.
Okay.
I think I liked it just a little bit more than you.
Fair.
But I agree. I agree with the sentiment.
And respect for being Japanese Brazilian women brewers.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then this episode is over. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. Have yourself a beautiful evening.
Love you. Crispy.
Love